Yo, what's up? What is up? What is up? What is up? It's your boy Carcino here. We are live and direct. And wow, what shocking news we have found out today. Um, I was stunned to learn these facts. And when I did learn them, I didn't want to say anything until I got some more information on it. But according to the law offices down there and the people that are representing the Atlanta District Attorney, Fannie Willis, Nate or Nathan Wade, who's the chief prosecutor or special counsel in the Donald Trump election fraud case, the defense attorney for not Trump, but one of the associates that she's representing, what's her name? Ashleigh Merchant. She was volunteering for Nathan Wade's judgeship election back in May 24th of 2016. She was the one that was very much advocating for him, which was very interesting to say the least. Because Merchant has suggested in the courts that Wade lacked the legal experience to prosecute the case against Trump and her client, Michael Roman. So we find that to be quite a contradiction when she was out there campaigning for Nathan Wade like crazy. She was loving Nathan Wade. So how all of a sudden he's not qualified? Right? You see how that works. Now, from what we've been told, the rabbit hole goes a little deeper. What we've been told is that in this instance, oh, thank you sincerely. Appreciate that. What we've been told in this sincerity of what's been happening, she's actually, as you guys can see there, you see her right there with her Wade shirt on. She is campaigning for Nathan Wade. So now he's unqualified. But why is he unqualified? Is it because you was doing your best to try to get close to Nathan Wade? Hmm? How much do your husband know about that? Oh, the screen is black to y'all? Y'all can't see it? Oh, it's good now. Okay. Now, look at her dressed up, rocking her Nathan Wade shirt, but she sat in the courtroom and said that that man isn't qualified to go after Donald Trump. Why? When this man had already made prosecutions and cases, everything he's done so far, all the work he's done, shown that he's more than qualified in prosecuting the case. As everybody has indicated, y'all don't want Wade on the case because he's actually good at what he does. He's actually good. So this blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman wanted her some soul pole. She was all Nathan Wade out in 2016. And what did he do? Did he turn down your advances? He wouldn't let you on the campaign trail. You couldn't get close enough to Nathan Wade. He wouldn't let you ride that soul pole. And now you see he's been with the DA, Fannie Willis. Ooh, that got you hot. He said no to you, but yes to her. Oh, yeah, you couldn't wait to prosecute this case. Now Nathan Wade is unqualified. You see? He said it was her whole family, kids included. She brought it up. Of course, it was her whole family. You know what a woman do when she like another man and she with a guy? She bring her kids. That's her alibi, her cover. You see, this how sneaky these women are. They bring their kids to these situations. Oh, we would just happen to be here. Oh, hey, we just wanted to stop through and say hi. That's what these women do. Donald Trump for president. Well, he already was president. He won't be back unless there's a civil war. That's the only way he getting back in there. So now, this woman who's been bouncing around the entire damn spectrum. She's just been bouncing around. And she's mad now. She's mad. This is what it is. This is scorn woman territory. She's mad because he don't want to give her the soul pole. And she's mad. She was like, well, he's married. He probably don't want to do that. All of a sudden, what did he do? You see him with a messing around with the district attorney, Fannie Willis, and you are mad. You want to dig all through his marriage, his divorce papers, everything. You all obsessed with this man because you wanted to go to Pound Town. You was all up on this brother, rocking his shirts, everything. I bet you your husband didn't want to root for this guy at all. You was head over heels on Nathan Wade. Just like his show right here. Now all of a sudden he ain't qualified. But what has he done already? I would say he's more than qualified. Wouldn't you? After all he's provided, I would say the man is overly qualified for the position. Just like the brother man said. But now she gonna act like she wasn't even a supporter of him. Look at her rocking that shirt. Don't she look happy to be representing Nathan Wade, the man she talking about in court, like he's a nobody? Look how she rocking the shirt. NathanWade.com. Woo! So in 2016, he was the man. But in 2024, he's not qualified. Make that make sense. You mad he didn't take you into that Oval Office and take you to Pound Town. You thought all the brothers go for the blunt. You was gonna back that thing up for Nathan Wade. You wanted that soul pole. And now you see Fannie Willis, the DA, is getting it. Ooh-wee. You didn't like that at all. So you got to axe the grind. That's what this is about. You got an axe to grind. That's what it's looking like. So you got some explaining to do. See, we brothers, we know exactly what this is. They don't care about their husband, their kids, no nothing. When they want that soul pole, they go out to get it. And they will stop at nothing because they feel they can do whatever they want. She want chocolate. She want that chocolate. She want the soul pole. And Nathan Wade didn't give her the soul pole. So she's mad. A woman scorned because she couldn't have what she wanted. She's a 6-foot blonde with blue eyes who always got what she wanted. And she wanted the soul pole from Nathan Wade. She got her whole family, kids and all, they all wearing Wade shirts. Supporting Nathan Wade. Now the man is not qualified to do anything. So now you got him up here and you trying to treat him like he's a nobody. And you talking to him all crazy in court like you don't, like she's never met the man a day in her life, like she don't even know who he is. That's what they do. That is what they do. Look at that. Look how she looking down at him. Yep. Look how she looking down at him. Are you looking at the file, sir? Are you looking at the paper I'm presented in front of you? I wasn't good enough for you in 2016. Huh, Mr. Wade? He looking like, who the hell are you? I already told you now, Miss Merchant. I don't like no cream in my coffee. Now, as you see this whole thing playing out in front of you, this woman acted as if she didn't know this man. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's a big cesspool. Now, the problem is in this situation was that he was actually good. That was the problem. He was too good. He was really good at his job. No one was focusing on the work he was already doing on the case. This woman came up with excuse after excuse as if why they're paying him so much money. She knows why they're paying him so much money. Because this is a case that's going to be going on for 3 years. This case has been going on since 2021. We're in 2024. This man has a private practice. That's why he's special counsel, a special prosecutor. He's not going to be an assistant DA and limit the amount of money he's got when he's got his own private practice. If you're an assistant district attorney, you can't have your private practice. And then if you hired somebody in like one of these 100 people, she could have used all these people. You don't want that for a case of this magnitude. You want somebody that's going to be there for the long haul. So that's why he was paid so much and was brought in to be the special prosecutor for this case, because he needs to be here for the long haul. You know, any other person would have to eventually leave to go do something. So he's getting paid for his time. So she's broken no laws as far as the hiring process or the payments. So which they wanted to focus on like it's a pay for sex type of deal. This woman is just she's delusional, she's deranged, and she doesn't want to focus on facts. She only wants to focus on speculation. So let's go with the speculation that you wanted Nathan Wade back in 2016. Let's go with the speculation that you was a huge fan of him. Let's go with the speculation that you wanted to give him that soul pole. And now you over here acting as if you don't know who he is. And they got you on candy camera, baby. You on candy camera, baby. Look at you. Look at her. Out there on candy camera. She was ready to go to Pound Town. She was rocking his shirt. Not only is she rocking his shirt, she got her kids rocking his shirt. She got the husband rocking his shirt. They all out there in support. She was the only one gun ho out there, out and about. All she knew was Nathan Wade, because she wanted that chocolate man. She wanted to win. She wanted to get in that office. She wanted to rep him so bad. All of a sudden, he was so good in 2016 till he's so inexperienced now in 2024. Now, we know what this is. We know what this is. Everybody black and who's a male, we all done seen this before. Happy birthday, Chris Gaming Show. Oh, he's saying the date on her shirt is his birthday. Well, you better look out, Chris. She gonna be coming for you. If your last name is Wade, Chris, you in trouble. Now, she done went all through that, and then in that trial, she's sitting right up there looking in this man's face like she know who he is. She's staring him all in his face like, do you know what's going on here? Can you read this? You read that, right? It's like, woman, you know exactly who that man is. You trying to act like you don't know who he is, woman, and you were out there wearing this man's t-shirt, wearing his last name on your chest, and back, and you out here acting as if you didn't know. You know, you was after the soul pole, hook, line, and sinker, wasting everybody's time, knowing why that man is hired and everything. And it's always a brother that know what the situation is. Because brothers done been in this situation before. When a woman want that soul pole and she want to go get it, she gonna get it. Ain't nothing gonna stop her from getting it either. She gotta get it. She need her fix. Oh, she knew. She wanted, that's why she was going through his divorce. Like, who in the world would be thinking about this man's divorce proceeding? You want to go all through his divorce papers. You want to go through everything because you are mad. You big man. I think there's problems with the billing. There was no problems with no billing. It was a problem with your feelings. That's what was going on. It was no problem with the billing. It was problems. I'm loving this season of Power. Yeah, I know you got Ghost over here with Angela over here on the stand acting like she don't know. Jamie. Come on, Angela. We doing this. You know I didn't kill Sergeant Knox. Dad, come on now. When have I ever been stupid? Now, oh yeah. You see the whole play that they have and what all of them want to get in front of everybody is that she knows right away what this was all about. And when she got inside of a brother had to read her rights. You see, nobody else could challenge her but a brother. Because everybody can see what her true motivation is. That's soul pole. Now she's like, oh, that was in 2016. Mm-hmm. You see, oh yeah, you know that. Yep. It's a problem with your feelings, woman. Because that was you in 2016. got that man's last name on your chest and back. You wanted to know you wanted Mr. Wade to see you as loud and proud, rooting him on. She got shirts, she got little fans, she got little signs. Nathan Wade could do no wrong for her. You just love that chocolate man. That big, strong chocolate man. You wanted that soul pole. And then she gonna say, she couldn't lie and say it ain't her. So what she gonna say is, well, I was there with my whole family. Oh yeah. You see, when a brother got up there, the only brother on the damn Georgia Senate hearing panel, that brother was the only one who pointed out facts. He had to sit there and listen to 2 hours of a white woman lying. She showed the front and back of that shirt. She was proud. Then tried to act like she didn't know who that was. There will be no Ghost and Tommy prequel. This is the prequel. Raising Canaan is that prequel. See? Look at brother.
The one that was filed February 9th at 3:47.
We can't hear you.
I'm so sorry.
Just
I'm so
pull
sorry.
the microphone
Yeah,
just
of
pull
course.
it closer to you.
Yes, I want to make sure I'm following the same one. You're talking about the defendant supplemental reply that was filed on February 9th at 3:47.
No, let's go back.
Okay.
Let's use your first one.
Okay.
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 Yeah. One that's a little bit more. Okay. So that one there on the Whitworth case. Tell
Okay.
me how that actually impacts this particular case.
Which page are you referring to?
Page 24.
Page 24.
She don't even know where the hell she is.
So the site is Whitworth. The court recognized a conflict of interest as a ground for disqualification, held to arise where the prosecutor had acquired a personal interest or stake in the defendant's conviction. And I don't, I wish I had that case in front of me. I don't have the case in front of me, but essentially, to answer your question, that first of all is physical precedent only. So
Right.
yes, and we
But you did cite it.
and said
Right.
that it's physical
Yeah.
precedent only.
And you're using that as the basis really to say it's a conflict. There's no other case law that you actually use in this particular brief to say it's a conflict other than Whitworth and also amusement sales, which deals with contingency fee.
Right.
And so in Whitworth, and I have the case if you want to go through it, it actually talks about that there's ways of citing the conflict.
Right.
Number one would be if he had or prosecutor had actually spoken to the defendant. Has that taken place?
No.
Okay. Second, has he represented the defendant?
No, he hasn't. There was a motion early on. I didn't even bring this up here, and I don't think we talked about it in the brief, but there was a motion early on because Mr. Campbell, who's Mr. Wade's law partner, actually sent a mailer out to my client and all of the other defendants. Yeah. So I don't think anybody called based on that, but they did advertise to them saying, call us to represent you.
And then they came with the third, which says there has to be a personal stake in the defendant's conviction.
Right.
So is that what you're relying on there, that there's a personal stake in his conviction?
No, in the prosecution also. So, and in that case, that's physical presence only. And I don't remember the specific facts of that case, but it's not just a conviction.
How would you
And
not?
obviously, the state wants it to be just a conviction. And we argued this extensively over 3 hours, I think, in front of the court. But it's also a personal stake in the prosecution. And that
It's the only case you have reverenced. How do you not know it? If this is the case, the only case which your whole thing is premised, how do you not know it? You see, a brother is the only one that can call her out on her bullshit.
was an amusement, prosecution. In that case, that was a contingency fee case. So
That's
that was
correct.
completely different. Yeah.
And so in amusement, it was a contingency fee case. So they had a personal stake actually really in the conviction, because they only received the contingency fee when the conviction happened.
Right.
So what you're really saying is that they had a personal stake in just bringing the case, because he can't have there's no personal stake in the conviction similar to amusement, correct?
Well, so amusement's a little bit different because there is no conviction in a forfeiture act.
Correct. But they're going to get money if they win.
Right. But there's no conviction.
But they're going to get
keep
money
the
if they
conviction.
win. That's the
They
key.
get money if they keep the forfeiture. So it's where that was a forfeiture case. I think that was like game slots.
That's correct.
Yes.
But they get money if they win.
Right. But
That's the only way to get money.
Yes.
They don't get money for bringing it.
So I just wanted to make sure it was clear.
Right.
That was not conviction, because you can't have a conviction.
But they only get money if they're the victor. He's receiving his funds. Mr. Wade is receiving his funds because he's billing because the case is going on, correct?
Oh, yes.
Not because he wins a case.
No, he can lose the case and still
Absolutely.
make a ton of money off of it.
So what you're saying is the actual conflict is just bringing it.
No, the actual conflict is, oh God, that's a long answer. The actual conflict is lying on your disclosures about how much money.
I'm
you
talking
got
as far
in
as
gifts.
this issue is concerned right here. When you use with worth, you use amusement sales, and they say that there has to be an actual conflict. And amusement sales, and let's go back to Whitworth if we can, because in Whitworth, the person was actually told, the prosecutor was actually told by another prosecutor that they want the case to actually resolve in a conviction. Because what had happened was the defense attorney came to the prosecutor and said, we would like to plead.
Mhm.
And the prosecutor basically said, no. He went and got advice from somebody, and that prosecutor said, we would like this case to resolve in a conviction.
Right.
And so the question, and that then was held not to be a conflict. They said that still is not an actual conflict, even though someone told that prosecutor, we want to see a conviction. We actually want to see it go to the end. Don't plea him out. And the court said, no, that's not an actual conflict, because what you have to show is there's an actual unfairness to the defendant in the trial.
Right.
Can you point to any unfairness in the trial that's taking place?
It's not in the trial. So it's not limited just to the trial. But to answer the first part of your question, when you were asking about the conviction of person,
She just said
Ms.
there's
Willis has
no
made numerous
unfairness
public
in
statements.
the trial. She just admitted there is no unfairness in the trial. It's not in the trial. Well, then where's the unfairness? Because it has to be in the trial. So that means your client, you said there's no unfairness in the trial. Your client is not getting unfair treatment.
About her interest in a conviction. There's some emails that had been admitted as part of it, as part of some of the exhibits in the case. There's a lot of pleading, so I don't know which one exactly, but talking about her desire for there to be a conviction and jail time. And then in my case, for example, so Mr. Wade offered my client misdemeanor probation. So we were the first people to get an offer. And we said, no, we wanted a dismissal because he was not guilty. And that did not happen. So obviously there's an interest in him being convicted of something, because when the plea offer was for him to pay a $5,000 fine and have a misdemeanor.
So in reality, because you said that he wanted to extend the case out, he was actually trying to end your client's case.
With a $5,000.
It was going to end. It would be no more billing on that case, because earlier you said that you believe, which was total speculation, that they created this case against your client to do more billing. And what you're just telling me now is that he was willing to stop his billing because he offered your client a misdemeanor and you rejected it. You're the one who's continuing the billing.
Oh, I don't bill by the hour.
No, you're the one that's continuing to make him bill. He was willing to cut that off. You said, I believe that they created this case against my client,
right,
so they can continue to bill.
Not
Well, he
just-
basically went out and said, I'm tired of billing. I'm going to offer misdemeanor.
Okay, let
And
me
you said no.
take a couple notes because you had a couple questions there. I want to make sure I answer all of them.
You see what happened? You see what happened when the brother get all caught up? Now she all caught up again. Now look, you just said they offered this man a plea. And you said no, because he's not guilty. He's going to pay a $5,000 fine, and that's it. And her client would have been done. Her billing would have stopped. She kept the billing going, but she's like, I don't charge by the hour. Don't matter. His case would have been over. You accused them of trying to get more billing out of your client. They're not keeping the billing going with him. You chose that. You advised him to keep going.
So the billing, so as far as the billing and the offer. So what I was trying to explain, and I'm glad you gave me this opportunity to sort of go into it in a little more detail. I tried to explain that there are really three classifications is how I broke the indictment down. There's the folks that are involved at the federal level. You see those people having, they were in DC. Then you see the electors. Then you see Kaufman. These cases could have been
Ms.
handled.
Merchant, we can't even hear you.
Oh, I'm
hardly up
so
here.
sorry.
Just pull
I
it
didn't-
up right
sorry.
to you. Pull it to the edge of the desk if you have to.
What we've done here is we've put them all together. You've made it so that it's necessary to try them, have 3 trials because there's no courtroom that can fit all of those people. So it just that, but what I can tell you is that I still, and we still believe that this is to expand the litigation. And even if it's minor, the law says over $100, that's enough to have a personal interest. So what we've got is we've got these financial disclosures where they're not being truthful. Ms. Willis is lying under oath, which is the same thing my client is charged with conspiring to do, lying under oath about receiving a benefit over $100. So you've got those. You've got this concerted effort, which we have seen, unfortunately, drag out over the last couple months, this concerted effort to hide this information from the public, to keep this information out. I think that it is very reasonable for a court to think that that is a conflict of interest. And whether or not it's a stake in the conviction, a stake in the prosecution, we definitely have seen a stake in the prosecution. And, Whitworth, the problem with Whitworth, and this is...
Who actually brings the case?
The district attorney. Well,
How do they get the case?
Well, we know a lot more now because of the book, Find Me the Votes. So we know a lot more than we normally would know. So, and that's one of the things that I talk about in my motion. In this case, it was actually Nathan Wade. So he's the one that he presented most of the witnesses,
How is your client charged? How are these clients charged?
Yep.
So my client was charged just in the actual grand jury.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a grand jury.
Yes.
Okay. So we had a special grand jury and then you had a grand jury
Yes.
who made this determination.
Well, yes.
They
And
made
I-
a determination to bring charges, basically, to
yeah.
indict, correct?
Yes. And I,
So are they part of all of this?
No. But I've never had the privilege of being inside of a grand jury, but I have heard.
So there's a special grand jury and a grand jury who decided to charge your client. It wasn't Nathan Wade that said, hey, you know what? I'm going after this dude. It wasn't Fannie Willis to say, hey, we going after them. So this was a special grand jury and another grand jury that brought the case to the district attorney. The special prosecutor, then they bring it to the district attorney. So as you can see, he's trying to say, what? You're saying the grand jury is in on it too? They got something to do with this?
A lot about what happens inside of a grand jury. It is a witness who comes, and in this case, it was actually the investigator for the DA's office. So just understand this, it is a very low standard of proof. It's probable cause. I have had clients who were dead indicted. I actually had a lawyer that I worked with at the public defender that was indicted along with his client because the DA presented an indictment that actually had the lawyer's name on it by accident.
So
And the grand jury indicted
So you're saying the grand jury has flaws?
100%.
Oh, so would you think it would be better for just the prosecutor to draw the accusations?
No. No,
So the
and
grand
I know
jury-
I know you guys have a bill doing that right now. No, I definitely don't think so. The grand jury is better than no oversight.
Correct.
Definitely. But
Right.
it's a continuum. So my point in bringing that up is the grand jury is not perfect. The grand jury is, I'm not allowed to be part of the grand jury. It is not what I would call adversarial. So the grand jury is one-sided. They only hear from the prosecutor. So, and they hear hearsay. So in this case, using it as an example, the investigator for the DA's office listened to all the January 6th testimony, read all the testimony, went in there and summed it up for the grand jury. They present, the grand jury doesn't draw up the indictment. The prosecutor brings that indictment and then they vote and it's a majority. So all they have to do is a majority vote and it's by a very low standard. It's a probable cause, which is about 25% proof. So you've got hearsay, you've got a witness who hasn't actually witnessed anything personally. You've got a standard of 25%. I think there should be much more safeguards on the grand jury process. Personally, that's for another day.
So you went through special grand jury and they made their recommendations. Then went to a grand jury and they, of course, made their recommendations. And how many persons have actually pled in this particular case?
2 or 3.
2 or 3 already.
And they were lawyer. Well, there was one. So the first gentleman who pled, he was a bondsman, and he was not, because of the state law for bonding agents, he's not able to actually run his business while he's on
Listen
bond.
to that.
So he had a significant
3
financial
people
interest
right
in
now
entering a
already
plea
pled
early
out.
on because he was essentially couldn't work if he didn't enter a plea. And I mean, he got probation. It was not what you would imagine in a huge racketeering case. You would not imagine probation and a $5,000 fine. The other 2 people who pled are both lawyers at the end of their career. And, I can imagine when I'm close to retirement and I have my retirement funds, if I would want to spend them on a criminal trial or spend them seeing my grandchildren, I would spend them seeing my grandchildren.
One of the things we've been talking about is Mr. Wade's kind of qualifications. So,
Oh, yes.
but you did mention early on that he was very instrumental in the special grand jury process. So he's been there. He's been part of this process.
Oh, you can see that by his bills. Yes.
Right. So other than just his bills, you said that you recognize that he's been part of the process. So even though he's very, I guess, what everyone's saying is inexperienced, he was able to go to a special grand jury and get their positive recommendations, I guess, from state side. He's able to go to a grand jury and get indictments, which positive for the state side. And he's actually had some persons actually plead guilty. So this inexperienced former assistant solicitor, I mean, he's not doing too bad, is he?
That would.
You see that? You see how Brother Vito with common sense? He was able to go, Nathan Wade was able to go all the way over to the special grand jury and get them convinced. He was able to go to the grand jury. He was able to get some arrests. He was able to get 3 people to plea out so far. But you said he's inexperienced for the case. But he seems to be doing quite well so far. This isn't about, it's about this soul poll you want. That's what this is about. You wanted that soul poll in 2016. He said no, and here we go. So that's all we know right now. You see, this is the type of information that's damning to people because it's so much speculation, right? But when you speculate on what she's actually done, and she's trying to tear this man down and his credibility, and she can't. Now listen to brother.
Would be up for dispute. I mean, if you want to talk about qualifications and whether I think he's qualified, I'm happy to talk about
No,
that.
I'm just saying. I mean, when you say that someone's totally unqualified, that's basically what's been going on. It's very surprising he was able to go to a special grand jury. You say he's integral in
That's
that.
not surprising at all.
And he's going to go into a grand jury. You say he's integral in that. Then why even say that he's unexperienced and he's getting people to plead guilty? But basically, you're saying those are just lawyers that don't want to do anything anymore. And they just pled their clients guilty.
No,
I understand.
No. So the special purpose grand jury, first of all, remember my client was not recommended as far as that.
I understand.
The special purpose grand jury, I've had the opportunity to read a lot of the transcripts from that. It's direct examination. So you're bringing a witness in and you're talking and you're saying, tell me what happened. So he did that along with Mr. Wooten, and he never did it all by himself. He definitely led it, but Mr. Wooten asked a lot of questions, and there were some other prosecutors in and out, but he was always there. But that, I mean, special purpose grand jury is really just to investigate and get testimony.
I understand.
So it's not.
But when a person's trying to insinuate that somebody's basically totally unqualified, it is important to realize that they've walked this case to this particular point. Very complicated case, I'd imagine.
I mean, that's something that we can debate. You know, if walking someone through the grand jury, the special purpose grand jury is complicated or not. You know, asking questions, and again, there's a team of 10 lawyers. So
now it's a team of 10 lawyers.
Who knows what part he's doing? But the question would be then, why him? Why not all of the public servants who are taking government salaries and, you know, restricted in their private law practice? Why do they need him there when they're?
Why do you not want him there? You don't care because he didn't give you the soul poll back in 2016. That's why you don't want him there. Why him? You had no problem wearing this man's name on your front and back like that was your superhero costume. That was your white girl superhero costume. You was Wade woman. Flying over goddamn tanning salons. Now, you mad because he didn't want to take you to Pound Town. Now, you trying to tear this man's credibility down. And it is backfired right in your face. Yep. So to try to tear that man whole credibility down, now you see how she's in here just swimming, trying to come any reason to back it up. That's up for debate. How we don't know what he's really doing.
There's all these other people. As far as the qualifications, asking questions in a special purpose grand jury in and of itself, I mean, there's no opponent. There's no adversary. There's no judge.
Once it became adversarial, you've had persons start pleading. And maybe more potentially, correct? Possibly, but we'll find out. But let me ask you this though, because you're talking about the staff. One of the reasons you may go outside of to outside counsel could be the fact that if you actually put this type of case within the office, just speculating, but to some extent we all are, the office would basically shut down. It's a potential that the DA's office had actually basically shut down.
Oh God, no! If you took the $1 million that he's been paid, you could hire 5 lawyers.
You could do that, but how long would you be able to keep them? In other words, if you hired 5 new inexperienced ADAs, they're not tackling this case. And also,
well, the inexperienced ADAs are not going to make $200,000. So if you're hiring inexperienced ADAs, you'd probably be able to hire 20. But that's not what.
But the key thing is that job that you're talking about that you're going to hire with that, with the $1 million that you'd have paid him.
Yeah.
If that's your theory on it, that's not going to stay. That's not necessarily going to be long term. If you're just saying the money you paid him, you could have done this, because his is a short term kind of situation. His is on contract, so it's short term. It's not a long term contract. It's not going to last for a person's career. So I understand the back and forth when persons were saying, well, they could have used this money for that, but that money was delegated for him on the short term project, so to speak. So it's not anything that a person would come in long term and actually necessarily do. But at the same time, that would be up to the district attorney to make that decision, how she's doing that. I just make the point that so far, from a district attorney standpoint, I would say that they probably believe that so far the case is successful. And we can argue about what's qualified, what's not, but certainly I think that they would argue at this point the case has gone from a successful pattern for somebody that's been denigrated and said is totally unqualified. I did want to go into these trips. How much was the money? Go ahead. Thank you.
Was that a question? Because I'd like to respond if it is.
Yes.
Okay. I took notes because there were a couple different questions in there. So the first one, you said about how much money. So Ms. Willis had stated that it would be between $3 or $4 million to actually pay Mr. Wade completely to prosecute this case. So you'd be able to hire a number of prosecutors. Some of them do come and go, but most of the prosecutors we've seen on this case have been there since the beginning. So, unfortunately, these cases take time, so people may leave. You also asked me about that this.
So people may leave. Of course, that's why he's paid, woman. You just answered your question. Okay? People may leave. That's why he's paid, so he don't leave. He's here for this special contract for this case. It is very effing simple. But she's trying to talk in circles and not really answer the question. Just keep talking in a circle and saying a whole bunch of words. Oh yeah, them men in the background, they ready to escort her ass out. Yeah, talking fast, saying nothing. But anyway, I got to get out of here. We got a video coming on Carcino for Life in about 10 minutes. So get ready. Deuces.